What is something unrealistic that you often see in movies that annoys the hell out of you? Firing a weapon and continuing with your conversation. I love Archer for the continual tinnitus jokes throughout the series. Don't forget the concussion jokes. BC, those are like super bad for you. Movies don't understand how squishy our brains are and how easily we get concussions. Like most action movies, when the hero survives a fall, or Iron Man landing really hard, a lot of car wrecks and so on, in reality, should have probably ended up in the protagonist being dizzy and throwing up. There is one Mission Impossible where Tom Cruise drowned, and when he got resuscitated, he was dizzy and barely oriented himself. It lasted a good while, despite being able to, quite badly, drive. And then in the same movie, he fell off a bike at very high speed, got dragged on the ground, and afterwards goes to meet his friends with no scratches or wounds or tears in his clothes. When someone pulls out a gun and it just magically makes the sound of a hammer or slide being pulled back. Also, cops and other professionals holding someone at gunpoint for a while, then racking the slide or cocking the hammer. Like, why on earth wouldn't you have a round already in the chamber? Also, people get shot in the arm or leg and suddenly someone has to become a surgeon and remove the bullet. In reality, we just staple the people back up and leave the bullet in them, as long as it's not touching a vital organ. Car wrecks generally do not explode. They only explode for the faceless goons though. If the protagonist is in a serious car crash, they'll walk it off like it was nothing. This is why they explode. It's used as a way of showing the crash was lethal. A realistic crash leaves people wondering whether the person survived. Explosions. Fireballs are from pyrotechnics and they look cool, but they look nothing like real explosions from bombs or grenades. There's no time to explain, but there's time to explain there's no time to explain. I'll try a few easy explanations. Big ass dinosaurs. Pervert on the loose. People are trying to kill me. Evil aliens on the ship. Shit's falling apart. Ladies got our 100 babies. We are running from the enemy. We got fucking ghosts. What movie is Ladies got our 100 babies? Probably 101 Dalmatians. Everyone in San Francisco lives in a giant Victorian house. I'm a print journalist and my husband is a sculptor. That's how you know we're interesting. Also, we live in this house and that's totally realistic. Also, it has a yard. And they find parking right in front of whenever they go. Have you tried to park in that city? Yeah, last week. You have to be prepared to park down the dank alley next to the homeless guy and the crack addict. But hey, it's free. Pills that work the second they hit the mouth. Alcohol kicks in the second they swallow. Recovering alcoholic. When I experienced withdrawals, I felt better the moment I took the first sip. In fact, there were many times I felt better the moment I put my hands on the drink. As someone who had seizures from withdrawals, so it wasn't all psychological. There's definitely a huge placebo effect going on, which I guess could extend to pills. Edit, not sure if it's frowned upon, but this is getting a lot of traction. If you're in need, I've started a blog about recovery. Here link. tastalifasober.com. I've noticed in a lot of movies they will let someone into their house, but don't shut the front door lol. Also, no one ever shuts a gate. I was raised in the country with animals. Shutting gates was drilled into me a whole lot deeper than table manners. Are these people insane? I've noticed that front door thing too. We had indoor cats. Do these people have invisible servants who run around shutting doors behind them? The reactor is critical, then it explodes. Critical means that you have achieved a sustained fission reaction, not an out of control one. Going critical is actually what you want to happen in a reactor. // the reactor is going critical. // oh good, let's keep an eye on that. It wasn't already critical? Why weren't the alarms going off? Give me a second. These firewalls are practically unbreakable. Let me just bypass a 10. Aggressive typing now to just. And I'm in. slams the enter key and turns to the protagonist with a grin. I wish hacking a multi-million-dollar security system was that easy. I wish hacking a multi-million-dollar security system was that easy. It is. If you have the right colorful third GUI. This, every firewall, and server is somehow compromised with a 90s maze from a Doom game engine. The coffee cup is always empty. You can tell by how flimsy it is in the hand. I've never understood why props doesn't just put water in the cups so the actors hold them correctly. You can hear the cups are empty when they set them on a surface. This never fails to annoy me. Well, water could spill, and if it spills on their costume or something then they'd have to wait for them to dry to keep shooting. However, I don't know why they don't like the cups with weights or something to at least make it seem like the cup is full. How the ugly unpopular girl is always stupid hot. But she's got glasses, a ponytail and paint on her overalls. Not another teen movie is both everything great and everything stupid as duck for the American Pie teen genre. Hilarious satire. Good morning, class. Let's open our books to page 101. Something Hollywood poignant for 90 seconds. Bell rings in college. Homework for next week is chapter 7. The bell ringing during obvious college classes is probably my number one thing. What colleges are these people going to? Greendale Community College. Sword fighting in movies, which is just very large swings, turning around, half swording and hitting each other's sword to make a nice clang. Also this. Sword pulled from leather scabbard. Sound of metal scraping on metal. Sword pulled from belt. Sound of metal scraping on metal. Sword drawn along stone column. Sound of metal scraping on metal. Sword lands on grass. Sound of metal banking on metal. What? Your sword isn't hollow and full of jingles. You're missing out. Every time a group of people is looking at a map / diagram / graph, the leader / scientist / genius says, here, here and here. 3 times. Always. Who does that? An obsessive compulsive scientist? Cool. When 2 people walk 5 feet away from the group and have a conversation at full volume, yet somehow no one in the group can seem to hear anymore. Can I just talk to you over here for a secretary? I think your girlfriend is ducking chat. When the character is driving and looking at the person they're talking to without crashing or even swerving, I always assume there will be a crash, and when it doesn't happen, it bothers me. You can't look away that much without crashing. I always get nervous when a scene takes place in a car, because if nothing bad is going to happen, why does the scene take place in a car in the first place? Running from someone shooting an automatic gun and avoiding every shot. Bullets observe the conservation of accuracy principle. If you shoot a single bullet in a movie, it will hit its target 99% of the time. But if you shoot 100 bullets, they each drop to less than 1% of hitting the target. Works with ninjas too. 1 ninja is very dangerous. 30 ninjas is about the same level of threat in total. Conservation of ninjutsu is what this called in reference to ninjas. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.